Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Back. Told you guys it'd be a quick break. Hopefully y'all went to the refrigerator, got your quick snack. You still with Marcus J, Big Rube, Carlton Banks, and Miss Tony as we continue in our discussion with regards to the election cycle and the goings on with regards to the presidential election and the re-election of President Barack Obama. Real quick. Don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So I will call him back, go around the room real quick. I'm going to ask a question. You going to an inauguration, yes or no?
No.
Big Road?
No.
Miss Tony?
Yes.
Okay. I went in 2008. It was the most physically, it was the most mentally exhilarating day I've ever spent in my life. I don't regret it. Physically, it was the most miserable day I've ever spent in my life. I will never do it again. I remember being there that day saying, when it's a woman, I'm coming back. All gung-ho. Hell no. Hell no. The only person I'll go see get inaugurated is Mama J. If my daughter is the president of the United States, I'll go.
And you don't have a choice.
I won't have but then I'll have a spot in the box where we'll be
sit.
sitting in the ground, cold as hell. Me and K-Dub was out there with our friends, man, and we was sitting in the ice cold dunes, man. It was like being in the dunes. But
that's one reason I didn't go last year.
It was miserable. Marcus J ain't no half stepping with Big Rube, Carlton Banks, and Miss Tony. We're going to transition and talk a little bit about the next step. So first thing I want to get into in the next step of the election cycle is the Republican Party and Fox News. Big Rube and I were talking live Tuesday night as we were going through it. We weren't blogging. We were actually on the phone and texting, and Big Rube was kind of my person to kind of bounce things off of that night, and I was his. So I'm going to start with you on this one, bro. Fox News wilded out. I mean, there's no other way to say it other than Fox News wilded out.
Well, no. Fox News did not wild it out. Karl Rove
wilded out.
Because he was the only person who disagreed with the fact that Obama had won Ohio. Everybody else was, all right, well, he won Ohio. He's president, yada, yada, yada. Karl Rove couldn't take it. I thought Karl Rove was going to have a heart attack right there on national TV. But first of all, my personal opinion on that, Fox News should be utterly embarrassed that they allowed this dude to hijack their news station for some frivolous stuff. Because basically he said that, well, these people vote, the people who left such a Republican, they can still win. Yeah, but Cuyahoga County hadn't came in. And that's the biggest Democratic place in the state of Ohio.
I'm not going to defend Karl Rove. Don't take what I'm about to say as a defense of him. But what I will say is this. He's a brilliant strategist. He didn't win 2 elections with President George Bush II twice by accident. That's the first thing. The second thing was, it's because of that brilliance and the money that he brought in, which only yielded 1% of any kind of success, because they did studies and they figured out how much money you spent versus how many votes you got, and his money got 1%. But it's because of his past prowess and brilliance and strategy is the reason why they even justify that nonsense. Now, I don't know the woman's name that was sitting on the panel. Megyn Kelly got out of her seat at the desk and went to the back of Fox and walked all the way down the hall, unprecedented, and went to the posters and was like, yo, for real? And I'm going to paraphrase because I ain't for all that proper speak. I'm going to keep it real. This is how we talk. She went, y'all, for real, yo. Y'all really saying Ohio is for him, yo? Because I ain't feeling that. We think that it's not time to call that. What y'all saying? And dude was like, yo, it is for the president. And she was like, oh, damn. And she had to go back up and tell Karl Rove and all the viewers, for real, yo, he won Ohio. And it was only at that point in the mid-60s reporting. You know what I mean? And these people do this. This is what they do. Yeah. You know what I mean? These ain't people who just guessing, Big Road. These are people whose job it is to project who's going to win. So if they tell you when it's 60% that Big Rube just won over Miss Tony, then you got to guess that Big Rube just won over Miss Tony. Tony, what do you think about the fact that Karl Rove went on television live with it being 60% reported and his network, MSNBC and CNN at that point had already called Ohio for the president, which essentially sealed the deal, and he still wasn't trying to accept it? What's your thoughts?
One word: Ignorance. I guess thanks to good old free speech in America, he could show and express his disbelief and disgust with it, but I mean, it was what it was. So, be a professional and take it as it was.
Calm Banks.
I look at it like this. I'm not a fan of Fox News at all. They are very one-sided.
So is NBC. So is MSNBC though.
Yeah,
on the other side. Let's don't eye nothing. No, don't eye nothing.
Because my opinion. This is my opinion. Hold on. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. So give me my say.
I'm gonna give you your say, but I want to make it clear that we acknowledge that they do that for the right side and MSNBC does it for the left side. Can we at least establish that?
I don't watch that much of MSNBC to answer that question.
But you watch Fox.
That's only because the wife changed the channel to that channel.
So your wife watches Fox?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, I cut you off.
When I wake up, that TV's on that channel sometimes, and I can't stand it.
I cut you off. Go ahead. My bad.
So, everybody has their political favorites. Every station has their political favorites. It's just like these big businesses that said if Obama's reelected, he's going to have to lay off people. I look at it like this. The best man won. Let's stop the hate. Let's move forward. Let's accept what's going to happen. 4 years is not going to kill us. And
some people.
There may be some. There will be. There's no may. There will be something positive out of this. Plain and simple.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is how people on both sides of the aisle lost their damn mind when the election was over. White folk, I love y'all. Y'all acted a damn fool. Black folk, I love y'all. Y'all acted a damn fool. I won't get too much into my my normal job, but the job that I work has me come into contact with lots of white folk, lots of black folk. I went into an establishment that was dominated by white people. They know me, I know them, they're comfortable with me, I'm comfortable with them. I walk in, one of the guys is just cussing and acting crazy. In the industry I work in, foul language and all of that stuff is normal, so don't really trip off of that. But basically what ends up happening is a second guy says, don't mind him, he's just mad at all black people today. And I just kind of look and I'm like, well, this was Wednesday, day after the election. And I'm like, why? True story. And I'm like, why? And of course I know why. But I played the role because I wanted to see how much I would get out of them. So he says, well, because of what happened last night. And I says, well, what happened last night? Now, at this point, the cussing, fussing guy's walking up. And he's part of the conversation. It's three of us, two white guys and me. And he says, well, the cussing, fussing guy goes, because of that president that y'all elected last night, we're going to turn into France with socialism. And I don't want to come out my pocket trying to take care of lazy, shiftless people who, I got to pay for their insurance and all that kind of time. So I was like, so what's your deal? And he's like, because of the guy, the black guy, he's the president. So you mad at all black people because we got a black president? And he goes, yeah. So I pause. I take a moment to think of my response because my normal response is to really go in on this dude. But I realized that would get me nowhere. So I ended up going with him on an intellectual level. And I says to him, I said, I understand your frustration. Seriously. I really do understand your frustration. He says, for real? I said, yeah, for real. You know why? I said, because, the first 34 years of my life up until 2008, we had a whole bunch of white presidents, and I couldn't stand white folk because of it. And it's only been the last few years I've been able to tolerate y'all because we got a black president that looks like me. Now, I said that to be a smart ass.
Yeah, I knew it.
Cynical and a smart ass. But the point I was making was to show him how stupid he was for saying what he said. You cannot like the president or any elected official because of their policies. But once you start attacking an entire race because you don't like one guy, that's when you become the asshole. And I will gladly put money in the tip jar for that because that is something that we need to make sure that we speak on and check people. You need to check people when they out there saying what they're saying because we all in this together. Big Rube and I talked a little bit earlier, Big Rube, about some of these states that are looking to succeed from the Union. Y'all tried that. Y'all tried that in the 1860s, okay? That's the reason why we had a war. It's called the Civil War. You got people like your man Peter Morrison, who is a grand old party GOP official in Texas, who's calling for a, quote, amicable divorce from, quote, maggots who supported Obama, suggesting that we succeed from the Union. You got a whole bunch of those red states in the South that I talked to y'all about a little while ago. Red now, were red in 1865. They talking about succession, y'all. They talking about not being part of the United States of America. Have you ever heard that before? We had Bill Clinton. We had Jimmy Carter. We had John F. Kennedy. We had Lyndon B. Johnson. We had FDR. We've had Democratic presidents in the past. All of a sudden, we got a Democratic president who happens to look a little bit different than the majority. Now, all of a sudden, y'all talking about succeeding from the Union again. What the hell is that about, Big Rube?
But they're not the majority.
Well, mathematically, they are currently. But we know that there's studies that say that they won't be going forward. Now, I don't want to come off as someone who has issues with white folk. I got issues with anybody who got issues with people living free and prosperous in this country. And if you black and you want to be a separatist and you want to get your little black state and you live in a little corner by yourself, I got the same issue with you as I got with your man Peter Morrison, the grand old party official down in Texas.
I personally think it's, first of all, it's ignorant, ludicrous, and really, really stupid. As one of my friends posted that as well, you know, I pretty much said, next thing you know, dogs and cats want to vote. I mean, let's be real, people. Are you going to succeed from the United States? No, that's not going to happen. Now, if you would like to leave the United States, I hear that Canada really has space for a lot of people, especially when you go up further to the right, where there's a whole bunch of cold and stuff. They got a lot of space for you up there. I hear Mexico also is taking people too. You know, I think a lot of Mexicans will actually switch with you because they don't like being where they are, and they probably would rather be in a better spot.
So let's ask these states the same question. When somebody comes and invades you or hostile takeover, what you going to do then? I just want to know. I mean, you want us to come protect you? Do you want our tax dollars to bail you out? Do you want our tax dollars to make sure your school system is up to par? Do you want our tax dollars to help you in a natural disaster? What do you want to do? I mean, Texas, I read this article about Texas. Texas is like the 5th largest income there, under budget and everything. Great. Glad to hear it. Texas, what happens when you get hit by that hurricane or that tornado? What are you going to do? Are you going to compete athletically? Yeah, you got the Cowboys, you got the Houston Texans, you got the Rockets, you got other sport venues down there.
That will leave.
That
will leave.
That would leave, right? Because of the simple fact, who's going to come to your state? You're no longer recognized as being part of the National Football League. So you're going to go in National Baseball League yourselves or Major League Baseball yourselves. You're going to compete against each other. Interstate rivalries become college related. I mean, what are you going to do?
My response to that is the ocean runs both ways. I mean, like, you know, Big Rube said, you can go down south, well, I don't think you want to go to the west because I don't think there's really much space in Asia, but you know, leave the country. I mean, it's really sad because if you think about our Pledge of Allegiance and what it states, that's really, you know, they're really going about what this nation is supposed to be about, not just when one party likes it one way or it's the way that they think that it should be. It's our nation. Regardless of who's in charge, we're moving towards a better good for our country.
Us. Tony, I'm going to ask you a question. A couple of things that we haven't talked about. Actually, before I get into that, I just want to make this real quick point. You got prominent Republicans who are coming out and having just really crazy things saying, like, you know, Donald Trump was tweeting the whole night and ended up deleting most of his tweets because they were inappropriate. And I think his intelligence, which I question sometimes, did get the better of him, and he decided to delete most of the nonsense that he tweeted. But just wanted to put that out there. But Tony, let me ask you this. We had a couple of states who elected female senators, and we've got what I understand to be about 20 female senators, including a openly gay female senator. As a female, what's your thoughts on the progress that females have made with regards to elected officials in this election and the elections recently?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, leaps and bounds. It's for females, I think, because we are such, nurturing and, to sometimes a fault. But as politicians, historically, we've been very effective in that role. We listen to the people, and we do try to work for one another. We've had to endure such prejudices, because we were women. So I think that it's great that we have so many women in office, and I don't think that it's going to be to the detriment of our country.
Big Rob, when you look around at the parties, the Democrats, the Republicans, we talked a little bit ago about the fact that the Democrats were able to draw most of the minorities. And unfortunately, women in this country are considered a minority, whether you feel comfortable saying that or not. It's just real talk. You've got a gay female senator. You've got 20 senators, I believe, 20 or more, that are female. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about the progression of women in this country with regards to elected officials. Somewhat the same question that we just asked Tony.
I'm all for the best person for the job, whether it be male or female. I thought the fact that 7 people who are running for office talked about abortion in negative ways, they went 0 for 7. Ryan, unfortunately, didn't win his spot, but I really didn't count him because somehow he re-elected for his spot and he went for the president. I don't know how that worked.
He stayed on it. What ended up happening was
he stayed on
the fact that he was running for the vice presidency did not preclude him from staying on the ballot in his home state as a congressman. So that's why he stayed there. And a lot of times what happens is these people get elected based upon name recognition. We just used to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Incumbents. That's why you get congressmen who stay congressmen for 20 years. That's what that is.
So that's a different subject for another time.
Absolutely. We know how we all feel about term limits.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I think it was another change for our country to see so many women, House representatives and senators being elected. I think it's going to balance out a lot of that testosterone in both rooms. The biggest thing, however, is, Boehner said we got to find a way to work for the country. Question is, are they actually going to do that?
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna throw it to Carlton Banks, give him the last word. We're gonna take our final break of the night. Bill O'Reilly came out and actually said that President Obama is the leader of the party that people who support him just want stuff. 50% of the country wants stuff, and that's the reason why they supported him, because they want stuff, which kind of alludes to the comment that Mitt Romney made, 47%, that whole thing. So you've got that whole Republican Party feeling as though the rest of the country are a bunch of moochers who want stuff. Now, again, I say this every single week, I am an independent. I will vote for you as a Republican if you tried to get me to vote for you, if you gave me a reason to vote for you. But if you continue to be divisive and say things like 50% of the country wants stuff, hell no, I ain't gonna vote for you. And I'm waiting for one because I feel very strongly about being an independent.
Right.
I feel very strongly about being somebody who is not going to strictly vote Democratic, because I don't trust them cats either. So I'm gonna end it with this question, Carlton Banks. You got the Republican Party who says things like that, and then you've got women who are coming along, and most of them are in the Democratic Party. What's going on with the Republican Party in the future? How are they going to win elections when you've got George Bush, who in 1988 won the election against Walter Mondale, I believe it was, in 88, with 61% of the white vote, and you had Mitt Romney in 2012 getting his ass kicked with 61% of the white vote. Same number 26 years later. What's going on with the Republican Party, and where do they go from here?
The The Republican Party needs to develop a strong candidate, somebody that can really reach out to the people, represent the people, and be a part of the people. That's the problem with a lot of candidates who are in office. They already have money. They didn't have to work hard, and they're well educated, and they've already been given. They've always been given something. So until you get a party member that started at the bottom, has shown progress, has shown a developed following, then you're not going to get somebody that can really win any side of the fence. I'm not going to even just justify it to Republicans. I'm going to say Democrat as well. You have to have somebody who can reach out and touch the people and gauge their feelings. You don't have that, then you won't get that. Plain and simple.
Ain't no half step in Marcus J. We're gonna have to leave it there.
But hold on, I do have one quick
more
question.
point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to know if my vote is anonymous. How do you know what percentage was white, black, Latino, male, female? I want to know, how do you know that? What survey did I also fill out when I voted told you my race, my age, and my color? I really want to know that, because you don't know that, and it's supposed to be anonymous. So all these percentages that are coming out about white, female, black, white, indifferent, male, female, Latino, I don't care. But you know what? I see a conspiracy when you start quoting that kind of number.
The only thing I'll say to that, Carlton, is a lot of it is from exit polls with people who are voluntarily giving information when they walk out of the polls. A lot of it is coming from that. A lot of it is coming from the demographics when you go in. You fill out your voter registration card, and a lot of us, like me, I'm a proud black man. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to write other with male and other with regards to black, African American, or whatever you call us. So I'm going to put that down. So when you go inside the polls and you say, "Hi, I'm Marcus J. I'm here to vote," they will put you down. So I'm guessing, and I don't know, but I'm guessing that's the reason why they know who you are. Big Rube, we got to go to end the show, but go ahead and take the final comment here. Make it quick.
When I voted, I had to go up to a woman, give my name, show my ID. They gave me a little card. I went to vote. The person took that card, put it in the machine, and I was ready to go. I'm pretty sure that card does not have your name, but it has all the other pertinent information that you speak of. I'm pretty sure it does, even though it is they don't know who voted who, but from that card it probably has you're black, you're between this age, and such, and that's how they tally the votes up. But because each vote has a specific code that goes to it, so yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know. At my station, we had that, so I don't know how it works anywhere else.
Marcus J. and Ohio Step. We're gonna leave it there. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. We're getting ready to take our final break of the night. Then we're going to do our rants and our closings. We're going to go over probably about 5 minutes tonight. We know you guys want to get to Monday Night Football. Hang in there with us for a few minutes, because the rants tonight are going to be live ones, and you really don't want to miss them. Marcus J. Ain't No Half Stepping with Big Rube, Carlton Banks, and Miss Tony. Hang in there. We're going to come right back. Marcus J. Ain't No Half Stepping. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, this is Antoinette calling from Jersey City, New Jersey. Marcus J's little sister. Just wanted to give a shout out to the show. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. GlobalScaleRadio.net. Mondays at 7 p.m. We got rants, politics, sports, real talk, guest hosts. Can't think of anything better to listen to on Monday night. Antoinette from Jersey City. I'm out. Peace.